Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hey, podcast family. Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 319. I'm Phil Graham. Today, I'm going to be talking about cracking Facebook ad success, the 5 vital numbers. So I'll tell you what, many things affect whether you guys have success and make money with your ads or flush money down the toilet. And many things should be measured. Today, I'm going to share what I consider to be 5 of the most important things that you should not only be measuring and tracking, but more importantly, you should be improving these 5 things consistently, like daily or at least weekly. Now, you don't want to limit yourself to only measuring these 5 things because there's a ton of other data that is super important. Things like click-through rate, CPMs, cost per click, and many other things. But if you are not obsessed with these 5 key numbers, it will be really tough for you. When you guys focus on these 5 numbers, these vital numbers for your business, it can give you a huge edge. And I'm super excited to share that with you guys in today's episode. And by the way, I'm working on some really cool content about AI and ChatGPT as it relates to advertising. I'm going to have that for you guys very, very soon. I can't wait for that. And I hope you guys are doing really well. If you want to connect with me, whether you're looking for some one-on-one coaching, or if you actually want somebody to run your ads for you so you can do what you do best, the best way to reach me is either going to my website, philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital, and I would love to connect with you. So let's jump right in and talk about what these 5 vital numbers are to your business and your potential advertising success. And like I said earlier, you must not only know these numbers, but you should actually be improving them consistently. I would be looking at them every day, or at the very least, every single week minimum. And not only looking at them, but you should have goals on how to improve each one of these numbers. And then you've got to have the right strategies and tactics in order to make that happen. So let's jump right in. I'm going to share the key 5 numbers that you need to really focus on. And number 1 is conversion rate percentage. This is so important because you could have perfect ads, but if they're going to a page, a website, a landing page, or a sales page, wherever they're going to a place that is not very good, that is not done well, and it's hurting you, you could have perfect ads and still not succeed. So you really need to track, how are your pages converting, especially the pages that the ads point to. So with conversion rate percentages, you can track that on sales pages. You can also track that on landing pages where you have people giving you their email, whether it's for a webinar or a download or whatever the case may be. But you should be tracking what percentage of the people who visit those pages end up either buying something or becoming a lead and giving you their email. Conversion rate percentage is so important to your success. And so many people I talk to, when I check their conversion rate, it's really low. It's like under the benchmark. And they don't realize that that's a big part of the reason why they might not be succeeding. And when they come to me, those are some of the things I look at, along with many other things, of course. So I want to give you a quick example. Let's say you're getting 200,000 people to your website, and it's not that hard to get 200,000 impressions on your site in a month. Doesn't take that much money to do that with Facebook ads. So that's like a very realistic number. We could use much larger numbers, but let's just say 200,000. It's not going to cost a fortune. It's going to be pretty inexpensive. And if you had a 2% conversion rate, which is for a lot of industries, it's under the benchmark, it's not that great. But let's say you had a 2% conversion rate on 200,000 visitors. That would equate to 4,000 sales. So 2% conversion rate is 4,000 sales in a month. Now, if you improved your conversion rate from 2% to 3%, so you're not doubling it, you're just improving it from 2 to 3, instead of 4,000 sales, you would actually get 6,000 sales or leads. This could apply to leads as well, and does apply. So going from 2% to 3% gets you an extra 2,000 sales or 2,000 leads at no extra cost. And then if you go from 2% to 4% instead of 4,000, it's 8,000. Can you see how big of a difference this makes and how important it is? You should be tracking this on the things you sell and on the landing pages where you get leads, because as I have shown you, even little increases, little improvements can make a huge difference. We're not talking about going from 2% to 10%. You can get way more sales just going up a small percentage, and it makes a big difference. So you want to make sure you're always tracking conversion rate percentage on your website. And how do you improve conversion rate? Well, that's a huge topic. I do a lot of coaching with clients on this. But in a nutshell, some of the things you want to look at are when you have ads running to a page, is the page somewhat seamless with the ad? Meaning, whatever the angle of the ad, focus of the ad was that got people interested, when they go to your landing page or sales page, is that angle or focus very similar or even the same? You want to do some testing, because a lot of times you're going to want a seamless experience from the ad to your landing or sales page. You also want to do testing on your landing pages and sales pages. So when I run ads, I don't just run an ad and that's it. We test different things. We look at data, we improve ads, we figure out what's not working with certain ads. And just like we do that on the ad side, you can and should be doing that on your side of things as well, with your website, with your sales pages. Another thing that you can focus on to improve conversion rate optimization is creating an amazing user experience. It's so often that I see sales pages and landing pages where it is so crowded. There's so many things on the page. There might be 5 different things they could click on and do. There could be links that send them to other places. There's pop-ups, there's all kinds of crap. And if you really want them to take an action, it should be very simple, very clean, and very focused. Most pages are not. So that's something I would definitely look at. And the other thing I would mention is when somebody gets to that page, whether it's the sales page or the landing page, can they quickly get a feel for what the point of the page is? Do they know what you're selling or what you're offering in your lead magnet, like within a couple seconds? Or are they going to have to kind of read and figure it out? You want them to get that message very quickly. You want it to be very clear. So those are some ideas for improving conversion rate percentage, but that is definitely a number that you want to be tracking, whether you're e-commerce or service-based or selling anything online. You want to focus on not only conversion rate percentage, but improving it consistently. So let's jump to number 2, and that is average order value. This is so important, whether you're an e-commerce business, a service business, maybe you're selling digital courses, no matter what you do, this is insanely important. And it doesn't matter whether you have low-priced products or services or high-priced, you need to be focusing on your average order value. It's so important. So I'm just going to give an example, quick example. Let's just say you had an average order value of $50 and you were getting 4,000 sales in a month. So you got 4,000 customers spending on average $50. That would be $200,000 of revenue in a month. Now, whether your sales are a lot lower or a lot higher, you can just kind of plug your numbers in, but I'm just kind of giving you an example. So 4,000 sales at $50 is 200,000 in revenue. Now, if you would actually increase the average order value just $10 from $50 to $60, then your revenue goes from 200 grand that month to 240. So you would make an extra $40,000 of revenue without spending anything additional. You would make an extra $40,000 just by increasing your average order value by $10 from 50 to 60. Now, what if you increased it from 50 to 65, a $15 increase? Then your revenue goes from 200 to 260,000. So you would make an extra 60 grand that month. Who wouldn't want an extra $60,000? And all you had to do was increase your average order value $15. It's not like you're going from 50 to 100, 50 to 65. Small percentage increase can make a big deal with your revenue and with what you bring in. That is so important. So how can you actually do it? How can you improve your average order value? Well, one of the obvious things is just raise your prices. But beyond that, I like recommending clients create bundles of products or services. So if you're used to mainly selling one thing or promoting one thing at a time, have a bundle at a little bit of a higher price point. You could also have exclusives that drive up the price on just a specific item or service, and they could be limited even, but you could really go high on that. You could pick what your favorite products or services are in a month and promote those and have a higher price there. There's a lot of different ways to do this. But if you focus on your average order value and improve it, it can really make a big difference. Now, imagine this. Imagine the power of combining both of these things. You're focusing on improving your conversion rate percentage while also improving your average order value. Let me give you a quick example because it's crazy. It's really exciting what it could do for people. We're going to stick with the same average numbers that we had, 200,000 traffic per month. So let's say you had 2% conversion rate and $50 average order value. That would be 4,000 sales in a month and 200,000 revenue. Now, if you improved both of the numbers, so conversion rate, let's say you went from 2% to 3%. So you improved it 1% from 2 to 3. And then your average order value went from 50 to 60. So you just went up $10, not a lot, but you did go up $10. Instead of 4,000 sales, that would give you 6,000 sales. Instead of 200,000 revenue, you would have 360,000 revenue that month. That's an additional $160,000 in sales because you improved both of those numbers. Do you see the power of this, my friends? Why don't people focus more on this? I have no idea, but they're crazy for not doing it because it is insane what it can do for you. Okay, vital number 3 is your cost per acquisition, whether that is cost per sale to get a customer or cost per lead. They're both important. You want to make sure you track both of those things. And it can get a little bit trickier because Facebook can't always see what people do on your website because of iOS and privacy stuff. So you have to look at multiple data points on this. Yes, you look at Facebook Ads Manager, that data, but you don't only look at that. You also look at ad data from your website, or if you have a Shopify store, look at ad data from that. We also look at the data from Google Analytics and also from our heat maps and then any other tracking software that you might use. And we essentially look at the whole picture. We aggregate that all into one place and we get essentially effectively what the cost per lead and cost per sale is. And once we know those numbers, we obviously track them and can work on improving them consistently by running better ads and improving our conversion optimization and doing all the stuff that we've been talking about. Number 4 is lifetime value of a client or customer. It is shocking how few advertisers track this or even know this, but it is important. If you have any kind of business where somebody's going to buy from you more than once, whether it's the same product or service or a different one, it's important to know on average how long they're a customer and how much they'll spend in the lifetime of being a customer or client, because you might be only running the numbers for the first sale. But if you look at the lifetime value, you might see that, oh my gosh, I could be spending a little bit more to acquire a customer or client on the front end, but I'll make more on the back end. But if you don't look at these numbers, you'll never know that, and you're at a disadvantage. So make sure you guys know this. Now, if you're a newer business and you haven't been around a long time, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a year or two at least, most likely, to really know what these numbers are when it comes to lifetime value. But start now. These are so important. And last but not least, number 5 is the ROAS, return on ad spend. Of course, it's important to know what your return is on your spend. Don't forget, don't just look at the data in Facebook Ads Manager. Look at it from all the various sources, because that's very, very important. You don't want to be missing things. You don't want to make those mistakes. You also want to give it enough time. Don't just launch an ad and a week later cut it because you think it's not making money, unless you're spending a fortune on that ad set. So many people quit when they're on the right track, and they're just about there. They just don't realize it yet. There's little data points that you can look at that will tell you if you're on the right track, or at least if you might be on the right track. So make sure that you guys don't just look at one piece of data in a short amount of time and think that is it, because you've got to look at multiple data points over time. Some of our best ads took a little while to kick in. That's not abnormal. That's pretty normal when it comes to advertising. But make sure that as time goes on, you're tracking this historical return on ad spend value, and then you can always be improving it, or at least focusing on what you can do to improve it by running better ads, better targeting, different ad copy and creatives, and all that good stuff we talk about on a regular basis on this podcast. So my friends, focusing on these 5 numbers, and more importantly, improving these 5 numbers consistently, can equal a healthy and strong business and can help to give you an edge. So I hope this episode was super helpful for you guys. If you want to get in touch, my website is philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. I would love to connect with you, and I will talk to you guys on next week's episode. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.